All right, so now that we've got our page created, we've gone ahead and created our metadata. We've created a basic outline here of some different headings. We've also talked about the use of templates. Now it's time to kind of jump into the fun stuff here, and we'll start taking some notes. So again, as I mentioned, we're going to do this kind of a manual way, really just to illustrate some of the core principles here. So I'll jump over again to the article that we're going to be working on. This is called, again, A Brief History of Money from Nakamoto.com. This is an article about blockchain and cryptocurrency and kind of the origins of currency itself. So I've got a few passages here. I've read through this article ahead of time, and I got a few passages here that I want to use to illustrate this. So down here, I thought this was kind of an interesting idea. It's a general idea that when we talk about crypto and blockchains, it's easy to sort of want to jump into the technical stuff. But if we really want to understand what this is all about, we need to kind of dive in and understand the history of it. So I thought that was an interesting point, and want to copy that highlight, and then I'm going to go ahead and paste it in here. Now, one thing that I want to mention is that anytime that I'm copying and pasting somebody else's writing to within my graph, I want to make sure that I don't risk accidentally plagiarizing that writing later. So one of the things that I like to do is at the beginning of this block, go ahead and insert the greater than sign with a space after it. And you'll see that if I do that and then move my cursor away from that block, what that's going to do is format it nicely here in that block quote formatting. So that's just, again, a clear visual indication to me that that is somebody else's writing, and I won't accidentally plagiarize that at some point in the future. So again, I want to jump back here to this article, and I'm going to quickly move through 3 or 4 more of these highlights here just to illustrate the point. So if I move down the article a little bit, also thought that this was a pretty interesting idea. So they were talking about barter, the barter system that really predated money, and what some of the inherent weaknesses were for that. And I thought this idea of the double coincidence of once was kind of interesting. So we'll elaborate on that. Again, I'll put the greater than symbol here, and then I'll go ahead and paste that in there. And then I'll jump back to the article again. Um, Down here, I thought this idea of commodity money was kind of an interesting one, and understanding the history of currency. So in this one, I'm just going to copy that phrase. That'll be enough for me to remember what that was about. I'll come back here to the article once again. Moving back down here, or moving down here to this paragraph, I thought this was also an interesting idea that the first proto money tended to take the form of collectibles. So I'll copy that one. And then finally, I'll jump back to the article here, and let's grab one more. This idea down here that through the trade of collectibles, food could be more uniformly distributed across time, and all people were better off. Let's go ahead and paste that one in there. All right, so we're going to keep this lesson short. Again, this was just the idea of very simply going and manually grabbing some of those highlights and moving those into the graph. In the next lesson, we're going to jump in and start processing these notes a little bit.